Hello everybody, it's Chris your YouTube Daddy here. Right, the reason for this video is I did a video the other day and it was asking, because lots of people keep asking me questions about myself, about my background, so I said, right, send me a list of questions about me and I'll try and answer them for you, because people want to know what I used to do and stuff like that. So I've got a list of questions and I'll run through them. Now I'm in my kitchen at the moment because I've just got home from work and I decided I'm going to make myself some cheese on toast. So you'll have to bear with me while I'm doing this video. I'm actually cooking myself some cheese on toast. So I got to Blackpool in 2000 and I'll just turn so I'm doing my cheese on toast now. I got to Blackpool in 2003, so which is at the end of 2003, so it's a little under 20 years. So before I came to Blackpool, I used to live in Telford for a lot of, some people know, some people don't, and I used to work, one of the questions was, what did I do for a living beforehand? And I used to work in a automotive manufacturing company that used to make parts for cars, car bumpers, petrol tanks, wing mirrors, you know, just general second tier supplier. And I worked in the paint plant that used to paint the car bumpers the same colour as the car. And my job in that was I was a world-class manufacturing facilitator. Ooh, how posh does that sound? So what does that entail? So basically it's a posh name for a process and quality engineer. So my job was, it was a big multinational company that used to have like 60 different companies all over the world, and there used to be one of the, like me and the same my counterparts in each of the other ones all over the world. And what our job was to make sure that we was all doing it the same way, we was all working to best practice. So if we had any good ideas and put anything in place, we then communicated it to the guys across the world. So we were doing, because we used to make the same bumpers or the same products all over the world, because obviously if you make a Vauxhall car in Europe or in England, they're all made the same. So my job was to make sure that we communicated between the different plants across the world. And also, a part of my job, I was a process and quality engineer. So I used to write processes, procedures, standard operating procedures, and industrialised equipment. So if you've ever worked in a factory or a production line, you when you make a product, the idea is it doesn't matter who makes it or who does it, it's done the same every time. So you've got continuity on how a product's made. So it was my job to, let me just put the cheese on toast back underneath now. So it was my job to make sure that the work in progress was done, the standard operating procedures were done, and it was all done the same all the time. And I used to write the work instructions, time and motion studies, industrialise equipment, and another part of my job, I used to do data analysis. Anyway, so it was basically an office job for process and quality engineer. And as a part of my quality engineer part of it, if there was problems at customers, let's say we sent some dodgy bumpers to Peugeot or Vauxhall or somewhere like that, it was my job to go to the car manufacturer and understand what went wrong, sort out the problem, come back to the plant that I worked at, and then communicate with them what went wrong, and then put a action plan in place to make sure it doesn't happen again. It's very automotive industry type of thing, and put the work in progress tools in place and problem solving tools and all that kind of stuff. Before that job, I first started at this company, which is called Plastic Omnium, as an operator on a production line. I used to mask up car bumpers, you know, with masking tape, and then it used to stop them getting sprayed where they weren't meant to be sprayed. Then from there, I then became a polisher, and then from there, I got sent to America to work for a few months for a sister plant in America to help them set up their new plant. And then when I came back from America, I then got promoted to a team leader. And then from a team leader, I became a cell leader. Then from a cell leader, a process and quality engineer. And then that translated into a world-class manufacturing facilitator. So that's what I did before I came here. And before that, I used to work in a factory making rubber gloves, PVC gloves, on a production line. So I used to... my toast is nearly done, so this will be a short video because I'm hungry. So, as I say, before that I worked making rubber gloves, and before that I worked, my first job when I was mid-80s, when I was 16, I used to work in Wolverhampton in a car garage, a repair garage. I did a year apprenticeship in a car garage, but it didn't really suit me, getting covered in oil and stuff like that. So, as I said, I left Telford and the company because I just got bored with it. It was so boring, office politics, stuff like that, and I wanted to do something different. So one day I woke up in the morning and thought, what the hell am I doing this job for? I don't want to do it. So when I got to work, I phoned up the estate agent, put my house on the market, and then... handed in my notice. Done. That's me toast done. That didn't take long. Look, I'll show you my tea. Cheese on toast. Oh, you gotta love cheese on toast, don't you? I love cheese on toast. So nice. So I decided to put the house on the market and quit my job. And the wife phoned me up and said, "Why is my house on the market?" So I phoned up the estate agent, put the house on the market, and hadn't bothered telling the wife. Anyway, to cut a long story short, a couple of weeks later, I didn't know what I was going to do. A couple of weeks later, we came to Blackpool for a weekend away, and I got chatting to a guy who had a hotel. And he said, I said to him, like, out of curiosity, how much does a hotel cost? I was expecting to say £200,000-300,000. He said, oh, I bought this for 150,000. I said, how much? So I thought, bloody hell, I could afford that. So I sold my house, paid off my mortgage and all that, moved to Blackpool, got a business loan and bought a hotel, which is where I'm currently now. It's now not a hotel, and I operated this as a hotel for 10 years. It's now been shut down. It's my private house. I've decommissioned it. So where I am now, I'm actually in my kitchen. You can probably see I'm in my kitchen here, yeah. This used to be 3 bedrooms, 3 ensuite rooms here, but I ripped them all out and turned it into my private house. So we operated that for about 10 years, but when I've been here about 3 years, when I decided I'm getting bored with the hotel, so I went out and bought the arcade. It was really, really run down, and it didn't have a burger bar in it or anything like that. So that's one of the questions people have asked is, how did you end up with the arcade and the burger bar? Well, the arcade was always bored, so I went out and bought the arcade. And the burger bar, me and the wife, Karen, decided we need to do something else here to earn a bit of money. So we decided to build a burger bar. And it was Karen's idea to create a £1 burger bar. We thought, that'd be novelty, that will. Anyway, so I was working the arcade as well as working the hotels. If you've seen Blackpool Lights, it will explain how it all used to work. But it got so busy at the hotel, at the arcade and the burger bar, we decided that we're just going to shut the hotel down now and decommission it, turn it into a house, and then focus on the arcade and the burger bar. So I hope that answers all your questions, where I came from. I'm originally from Telford. I say I've been in Blackpool 20 years now, or just under 20 years. It'll be 20 years in December. I actually turned up 2003 on Boxing Day when we picked up the keys for the house, and it was like landing on Mars. I didn't know anybody or anything at all. I had no clue, and we literally had to open the hotel straight away because we'd spent all our money on buying the hotel, and obviously I had to borrow money as well. But that was 20 years ago now. But like I say, now the hotel is now decommissioned and it's now my house. Because I say we did operate that, and say Karen operated that when I was doing the arcade, but then we decided just to shut it down after the arcade got so busy. So that was a few of the questions covered there. People keep asking me, Here's another question. What's the meat content of the burgers? Right, the meat content of the burgers is 71% beef, okay? So the beef burgers are 71% beef, and they're Booker's own range, where I get them from Booker's. So that's another question which you keep asking me. The other question you keep asking me, am I married? Yes, I am married. And how long have I been married for? I've been married for, I was 20, so I'm 55 now, just under 35 years. I've got 2 children and 2 grandchildren, and they all live in Blackpool. So my oldest daughter, Rachel, she's got 2 kids, and she lives in Blackpool with her husband. And I've also got Rebecca, my youngest daughter, who lives here, well, in an apartment downstairs, because obviously it's such a big house. We've converted downstairs into an apartment for her. So, as I said, I'm originally from Telford, but all my family now live in Blackpool. I've got no other family left in Telford, but all my cousins and all my other relations are from the Black Country. Blackheath, Dudley, West Bromwich, Albury, that general area. That's where all my family are from. And all my wife's family, they're all from Telford. Where was I born? That was another question asked. I wasn't born in Telford. I was born in Norwich, a place called Northfield-on-Flegg. And I was actually born on an RAF base, because my mum and dad used to be in the RAF. My dad was a military police and my mum was a nurse. And when I was born, back in the late 60s, they were just in the process of being demobbed out the RAF. So I was born on an RAF base. I don't think there's any more questions. I think that's all of the questions. But if you have got any more questions, please feel free to put them in the comments below down there. If you have answered questions and I've not answered, I'm really sorry about that. These are just the ones I can remember off the top of my head. And if you like this video, don't forget, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you later, guys. Thanks for watching this video. Bye for now.